Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. Hello, everyone. We are so excited today. If you listened to our last episode all the way to the end, you know that we have a very special guest who we called our birthday gift, that it was a total birthday gift this month that he's on our show. And we have Seth from Horror Movie Crew. So welcome.
Hey, happy birthday. I forgot that was coming up.
Yeah, I'm Sunday and Tawny's Monday.
That's so weird that you guys are one day apart.
Days. I know.
Wow.
Weird.
It was legit meant to be.
Do you have any big birthday
and so everybody
plans?
knows. Well, let me just tell them. Everybody knows Seth brought us Silence of the Lambs today.
Yes, yeah.
All right, now let's talk about birthday plans.
Yes.
So that's obviously one thing that we're doing. That's exciting.
Yeah, talking to you. That was a big.
Oh, yay.
Literally, when I was at work yesterday, I was on a call and everyone's like, "Oh, what birthday plans do you have?" And I go, "Oh, I get to record with two of my friends and we're going to do Silence of the Lambs." That was like the thing I led with.
What'd they say? Were they like, "Oh, wow."
Well, no, they were like, "Oh, that's cool." No, people I think it's like the podcast itself is cool. Or they may be like, "Fucking Felicia always talking about that fucking podcast." That might be too. She's always finding a way to talk about it.
She's always working it in somehow.
She did say that she does a round of tell something interesting about yourself so that she can plug the podcast.
Wait. No. We did that before. It was state a fun fact about yourself. I just always look for the opportunity. I was like, okay, let's talk about fun facts about ourselves. I'll start.
Oh, God.
Links are in the chat. There you go.
Links are, she's prepped.
Yeah.
She's got something ready to copy and paste. If you want to check us out, you can go to Instagram.
A little business cards you pass out to everybody. As a matter of fact.
Exactly. Well, it was cool. This last, I have a new hire class right now. It's 3 weeks long. So I would just finish the first week. But one of the new hires in that class said, "Oh my God, I've heard of you guys."
Oh my God, really?
You have? That's amazing. That's so amazing.
Wow.
But my parents are coming out tonight. And then tomorrow it's kind of a tradition because my favorite food is crab. So my husband's going to take me out for crab.
Yum.
Nice.
What about you, Tawny? What are you doing?
So I think we're gonna do something next weekend, just because I'm like the worst self birthday planner on the planet. Like I don't know. I just decided like literally yesterday what I think I want to do. So I'm like, well, we can't do it this weekend. Let's do it next weekend. So we give ourselves time to prep. But I think we're gonna go to dinner to this place that I wanted to go to dinner at since we moved here. Like people have talked about it a bunch. It's called Brick 29. It's in Nampa, which is like close to Boise. It's all like basically one city. But then like 2 or 3 years ago, right before I think it was 2019, we went and did an escape room for my birthday. It was like a horror themed escape room. Super, super, super fun. Like doing an escape room like this is like the most fun I think I've ever had in my adult life. Like I'm like a child, giddy child in there.
Yeah.
So fun. So we're going to go back. Hopefully that's the plan, is go to dinner, go do an escape room, and then maybe hang out at Paige and Trevor's afterwards. Cause that's my birthday crew.
Sounds like fun.
Cool. Yeah.
What fun do you have for this weekend, even though it's not your birthday?
Actually, my parents are also coming over for dinner tonight.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but we're just having dinner. We usually do it every weekend. So they live pretty close.
Seem like you hang out with them a lot.
Yeah, usually every weekend or every other weekend. I'll go to their house or they'll come here. Yeah.
That's nice. I hope my kids want to do that with me when I'm older. What's everybody drinking?
Do you want me to go
Seth,
first?
what are you drinking?
Tawny's going to make fun of me.
Yes.
This is my favorite whiskey. It's cheap. Canadian LTD.
Nice.
Just drinking it on the rocks. I'm not a mixologist. I can't make it neat. So I have to put ice in it because I don't know what else to do. I still can't believe that.
Yes, Seth, we're
funny.
not gonna make fun of you. Like
No.
he's got to realize that he's not recording with Josh.
I'm not used to it.
Make
Like,
fun of you.
God, they're gonna be nice.
Yeah, welcome to the
So-
nice crew. We're
Hey.
No, Tawny, I disagree with you. Oh, Felicia, I disagree with you. Josh was saying that we're too nice to each other when we disagree with each other. All right. So what I'm drinking, so I'm mixing it up,
Ooh.
but I am breaking away from water. So I am drinking this bubbly rosé, but it is alcohol free and it's called Groovy.
Ooh, cute.
I don't know if you could see. And they come in these 4-packs and they're totally like little wine coolers. And I remember like back in the day, when we were recording, I was on this non-alcoholic beer kick. And I remember we had like quite a few people reaching out going, oh, what was that? What was that you were drinking? So brought some non-alcoholic stuff, bubbly rosé.
I suppose that's
And I have
okay.
to say, it is yummy. It's like a dry rosé. I'm kind of impressed.
Does it actually taste like wine?
Yeah. It tastes like, it does. It tastes like a drier wine cooler, if I can, because it's bubbles. So it does taste like a wine, and it's a little dry, which is nice because a lot of times with non-alcoholic stuff, there's like really, really sugary.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. I also ordered Monday to try their non-alcoholic whiskey. I was curious. I tried another brand and it was garbage.
Yeah,
you tried it too, Tawny, didn't you?
Yeah, Ken.
I've tried
Sorry,
a couple
Ken. I
non-alcoholic,
guess we're not getting that sponsor.
like red wines, and they just taste like grape juice. Like they didn't taste like wine.
Okay, so since this is bubbly, it tastes like a wine cooler.
Okay, so maybe that's why
sure.
it's bubbly. I don't know.
Yeah, I did buy like a non-alcoholic Chardonnay and Merlot because I was curious because I've never had it, but it's probably just gonna. But we'll see.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know because I have not found one that tastes good.
I found some beers that tasted really good, but yeah,
I mean,
okay, I'll let you know.
I can't tell when you try the beers; they taste the same to me. But
yeah,
the alcohol must
Tawny?
give wine like a taste.
It must. Yeah.
A good taste.
Yeah,
I agree.
a good taste.
Instead of just juice.
Yeah.
I have got some Chardonnay. I think it's like boxed wine, the black box. So not making fun of you, Seth, because here I am with my box wine.
There's nothing wrong with box wine.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
We had this conversation too at some point.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I have to. I've never tried box wine. I have to try it. I have to go get a box of wine.
Yeah, there's several to choose from. Yeah.
Never crossed my mind. I don't know why. But you guys sold me on it. You talked about cutting the bag, draining it. You
Very
gave me some
classy.
instructions on how to do it. Yeah.
Yes,
If you want to economize your drinking, you got to get the box of wine.
exactly. So Seth, I mean, people on our podcast who listen to our episodes, we talk about Horror Movie Crew a lot, but
Yeah, you guys
in
do.
case somebody hasn't listened to those episodes, or this might be the first episode that they're listening to, do you want to give just like a little plug for your podcast?
Sure.
Tell us what it's all about.
Sure. So I'm a third of the Horror Movie Crew podcast. So along with Josh and Jess, Josh always says this, but we're really more of a comedy podcast, and we talk about horror movies. So each month we pick a theme, and each of us picks a movie to talk about and review. But it's like a lot of laughing and appropriate discussion. We make fun of each other. It's really just fun. It's like us just hanging out, talking about movies, good and bad. Like we just did Fear.com, which was just a terrible movie. And we just, it was awful. And we just wrapped up our New Year's Scream theme for January. And February is Secret Lovers, movies we love but shouldn't. And we're kicking it off with my pick, House of Wax, 2005.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
Starring Paris Hilton.
Oh, yes.
I remember that.
It's one of those horror movies
movie
that I love, but a lot of people hate it.
That is so much fun. I love that. Yeah. They say that laughter actually prolongs your life. It adds years onto your life. So if you want to add some years onto your life, definitely check out Horror Movie Crew because you guys are hilarious.
Definitely.
A lot of inappropriate talk, but you know.
So what do you love most about your podcast, Seth?
I think for me, it's just because we've been friends for a long time, me, Josh, and Jess. So it's just so much fun because it's just us hanging out talking about movies. And I don't know if we've ever told you how it started. Like, it was right at the beginning of COVID. We were like, let's get together and pick a horror movie and watch it together. Like, we each like picked a theme, then we picked 3 movies. And we watched them all, of course, and drank. And then we're like, oh, we should like sit around and like record this. Like, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's just so
It
fun.
is.
Like, I look forward to it every week because we just get to hang out and talk, and yeah.
It is like a very nice excuse to just hang out. Felicia
It
and I talk
is,
about that
yeah.
too. We're like,
It's like, oh, I have to go record, but really we're just hanging out,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like super fun. Like it does not ever feel like something we have to do. It's great.
Yeah, like when putting it in the preface of we have to record for the podcast, it's literally just making you're getting like permission. What am I trying to say? Sorry, I thought somebody came in and I got distracted. You're making it official that you need to sit and chat for as many hours as it takes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Because we're recording for the podcast.
Yes. Leave me alone for that amount of time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we just have so much fun doing it. Like we're recording tomorrow for House of Wax. I'm very excited to talk about it.
Oh yeah. That'll be a fun one.
I just like love to
do you
know
have-
what they think of it. Like, I like to hear, what they say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'll wait. I'll wait for that.
Okay.
Do you have like a favorite episode that you guys have done?
God, I saw that on your outline, and I cannot like just think of one that's my favorite because they're all just so fun and funny, and I cannot think of just one, honestly.
Yeah.
It's too hard to pick.
Okay.
That's
All
fair.
right.
Yeah, it's just too hard
They're
to pick
all
one.
great.
Like,
Is
not
there
that
one
they're
that
all...
pops in your mind that you're like, oh wow, that was really fun.
No, I can't.
The first one that pops in your mind. How about that? Not your favorite, just the first one that pops in your mind.
Probably the Phantom Carriage episode, because it was just such a different type of movie we've never done. And it was actually really fun to talk about it. I don't know if you guys listened to that one yet or not.
No,
Not
we'll
yet.
have to go listen to it.
Because it was a
that was
1921 silent movie. So it was just totally different to watch it. Yeah. And to talk about it. It was kind of fun.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go listen to that. That does sound like a really interesting, movie to review.
Well,
Yeah.
and I picked it just because I was
love it.
like, what the hell? And I thought, they're going to fucking hate this movie. They're going to hate it. Josh is going to hate this movie. And they actually ended up liking it. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just thought that too. I thought, did Josh hate it?
Yeah. When I was picking, I'm like, he's going to hate this movie. He's going to kill me because it was like 2 hours long. It's silent. You have to read stuff in
geez.
between the scenes. But he actually liked it. I was surprised. And to boot, it was a Swedish movie. So...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just way outside of the realm of normal stuff.
But I guess it's a really well-known like horror movie that inspired a lot of stuff later. So it was interesting to talk about.
That's cool. I will have to watch it too. I have been thinking for us at some point we should go back and do a lot of the really early stuff. Like the only one that I've seen is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. And that was really eye-opening to see how much that seems to have influenced things that I thought were like original thoughts, like Tim Burton stuff,
Yeah.
oh, I can see the beginnings of this back in, I think, the 20s also.
Yeah, that is one I want to see. It's on my list of, I'm hoping I can pick it at some point for one of our themes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite like subgenre?
For me, it's usually paranormal and murder mystery types are my favorite. Like I love, the Conjuring series, all of those. Those are probably my favorite types of movies. I'm not as into the slashers as Josh is. I'm definitely not into Saw type. I don't know. Is that what do you call it? Body horror? Is that
Like torture porn, probably.
Yeah, torture porn. I did not like those kind of movies at all.
Yeah. That's fair.
I heard
You
it's-
seem to like really, pick obscure movies. Like I feel like you're good at that. Like you picked like the Phantom Carriage, I feel like is a good example, but you also picked, what was it? The witch one for A Podcast on Elm Street's Halloween one. I
Oh,
listened
the
to
worst
that episode.
witch.
The Worst Witch. I was
Yeah.
like, I tried to even Google it, find it so I could like see just at least like
Yeah.
what it was. Couldn't find it anywhere. Like I was like, damn, Seth, you have like these fucking obscure polls. It's awesome.
Well, I also really like to pick movies, especially for ours, that like none of us have seen, because then it's really fun to
Yeah.
talk about if none of us have seen the movie before.
I guess this is our last and most relevant question to this episode. Why did you pick Silence of the Lambs to bring to us?
So I've been actually wanting to pick it for ours, and I just haven't found the right moment to do it yet. But this is probably one of the first horror movies I remember seeing. I was probably only 12. Why my parents let me watch it with them, I don't know. But it like really stuck in my mind, especially the scene where he bites the cheek off, like stuck in my head for like years, and it terrified me. I just think it's such a good movie. Anthony Hopkins is so creepy in this.
Amazing.
Yeah,
This
it's
would
just
be
unbelievable.
I see that. It would be very disturbing to watch as a 12-year-old. I mean, it's disturbing to watch as an adult, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it was just different back then, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, I didn't really have a TV in my room. If I did, it was probably just local channels. So on the weekends, they would watch movies, and I would just go in there and watch it with them, you know?
Yeah. They're like, I'm sure that'll be fine.
Yeah.
After you watch it with them.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be okay.
That'll be all right.
I have to agree. I think I'm a handful of years older than Seth, so I watched it and I was still pretty young, but like young teens. And so many of these scenes are burned like into my head and terrified me.
Yeah, him in the mask, of course. And then the well, all the scenes in the well, just like always stuck in my head.
Her in the pitch black darkness made me scared to be in pitch black darkness. Like I always had to have a night light or always had to have just some kind of light coming in because of that.
Yeah.
All right. Tonight we're talking about Silence of the Lambs from 1991. I watched it on Amazon Prime. Sure, you can watch it elsewhere, but I was super stoked that it was actually Prime. And I had to pay for it. That was a nice little gift.
Yes.
The director was Jonathan Demme. Is that or Demme? Jonathan Demme. The budget was $19 million. That's what's reported on Wikipedia, but the box office was $272.7 million. Wow. And they recouped their budget in week 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 96%. IMDb gave it 8.6 and Letterboxd is 4.3. I do have one little extra thing here that I thought was cool. It became the third and last film, the other two being It Happened One Night and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, to win Academy Awards in all major 5 categories: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay. It is also the only Best Picture winner, widely considered a horror film, and one of the only 6 horror films to have been nominated in that category, those other ones being The Exorcist, Jaws, The Sixth Sense, Black Swan, and Get Out.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Our cast. I just put the 4 top main players that were in it the most. Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter, Ted Levine as Buffalo Bill, Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling, and Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford. Now we are moving on to 2 Minutes with Tawny.
Yeah, except did not put it together, so I'm just going to read you what is on Wikipedia. So this is 5-ish probably minutes with Wikipedia today. Okay. In 1990, Clarice Starling is pulled from her FBI training at the Quantico, Virginia FBI Academy by Jack Crawford.
This is why she didn't want us to do What Are You Watching? Because she had 10 minutes with Tawny. Sorry, Tawny, go ahead.
For about 20 minutes with Tawny.
Yeah, I needed the time for this. Okay. In 1990, Clarice Starling is pulled from her FBI training at the Quantico, Virginia FBI Academy by Jack Crawford of the Bureau's Behavioral Science Unit. He assigns her to interview Hannibal Lecter, a former psychiatrist and incarcerated cannibalistic serial killer. Crawford believes Lecter's insight could prove useful in the pursuit of a psychopath serial killer named Buffalo Bill, who kills young women and removes their skin from their bodies. At the Baltimore State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, Dr. Frederick Chilton makes a crude pass at Starling before he escorts her to Lecter's cell. Although initially pleasant and courteous, Lecter grows impatient with Starling's interviewing and rebuffs her. As she is leaving, a prisoner named Miggs flicks semen at her, into her face, by the way, just want to make sure.
So gross.
In the
So
eye.
disgusting.
I mean,
Ugh.
yeah. Lecter, who considers this an unspeakably ugly act, calls Starling back and tells her to seek out his old patient. This leads her to a storage facility where she discovers a jar containing a man's severed head. She returns to Lecter, who says the man is linked to Buffalo Bill. He offers to profile Buffalo Bill on the condition that he be transferred away from Chilton, who he detests. Another Buffalo Bill victim is found with a death's head moth lodged in her throat. Buffalo Bill abducts Catherine Martin, the daughter of a U.S. senator. Crawford authorizes Starling to offer Lecter a fake deal, promising a prison transfer if he provides information that helps them capture Buffalo Bill and rescue Catherine. Instead, Lecter demands a quid pro quo from Starling, offers clues about Buffalo Bill in exchange for personal information. Starling tells Lecter about her father's murder when she was 10 years old. Chilton secretly records the conversation and reveals Starling's deceit to Lecter before offering him a different deal. Lecter agrees and is flown to Memphis, where he meets and torments Senator Martin, then gives her false information on Buffalo Bill, including that his name is Louis Friend. Starling figures out that Louis Friend is an anagram of iron sulfide, which is fool's gold. She visits Lecter, who is now imprisoned in a cell in a Tennessee courthouse, and requests the truth. Lecter says all the information she needs is contained in the Buffalo Bill case file, then insists on continuing their quid pro quo. She recounts a traumatic childhood incident of hearing spring lambs being slaughtered on a relative's Montana farm. Lecter speculates that Starling hopes that saving Catherine will end the recurring nightmares she has of lambs screaming. Lecter returns the Buffalo Bill case files to Starling as Chilton arrives and has the police escort her from the building. Later that evening, Lecter kills his guards. One of them is graphically disemboweled, escapes from his cell, and disappears. Starling analyzes Lecter's life annotations and figures out that Buffalo Bill knew his first victim, Frederica Bimmel. Starling travels to her Ohio hometown and discovers both she and Buffalo Bill were tailors. At Frederica's home, she notices unfinished dresses and dress patterns identical to the patches of skin removed from the victims. She phones Crawford and says Buffalo Bill is making a suit with human skin. Crawford is already en route to make the arrest, having cross-referenced Lecter's notes with hospital archives and finding a man named James Gumb. This is hard to say. Gumb smuggled death's head moths into the U.S. and was refused a sex change operation, mistakenly believing he was transsexual. Starling continues interviewing Frederica's friends while Crawford and an FBI HRT. This is so detailed.
It is. It's like
I read this
for script.
I read this for the research, and when you're like, I'm just going to read it all, I was like, okay.
I regret my choices in this moment. This is
it's long.
Sorry, everybody. Shit. The FBI storm Gumb's address in Illinois, finding the house empty. Meanwhile, Starling goes to interview another person who knew Frederica. At the house, she meets Jack Gordon, but realizes he is Gumb after spotting a death's head moth flying loose. Oh, shit. Okay, she pursues him into a cavernous basement and finds Catherine trapped in a dry well. In a dark room, Gumb stalks Starling with night vision goggles but reveals himself by cocking his revolver. Starling reacts quickly and shoots Gumb dead. At the FBI Academy graduation party, Starling receives a phone call from Lecter, who is at a Bimini airport. Sure, wherever. He assures her... not relevant. Doesn't matter. He assures her that he has no intention of pursuing her and requests that she return the favor, which she says she cannot. Lecter subsequently hangs up the phone because he is having an old friend for dinner. He trails a newly arrived Chilton into the crowd. Holy shit, the end. That was 100 minutes with Wikipedia.
That was awesome.
You read that really cleanly. Like, that was...
Thank you.
And if anyone who hasn't seen the movie, I can't imagine who that would be. Now they know.
You don't really need to know.
You need to see it now.
You've seen it.
Oh God, that was great. All right. So, Seth, you mentioned that you like this movie. Tell us, how do you like this movie? Like kind of overall, your overall take on how you like it, you don't like it.
Overall, I think it's awesome. Anthony Hopkins is so amazing in this movie. And I haven't seen this in probably 10 years. So I forgot a lot of what happens, but just like his reveal, he's just, I don't know what it is about him, but he's so good. He's so creepy.
Yeah.
And of course, Jodie Foster, I love her. But just the overall,
the acting was like next level.
Oh, I know the acting's amazing in this, and just the whole feel of it. It's just creepy. The entire movie is creepy. It's never sunny out. It's always just gray and kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but overall, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Tawny, how about you?
I really liked this.
Oh, and I didn't know.
I wasn't sure. I was like, God, Tawny's probably.
I wasn't sure.
It's an early '90s movie.
I thought I was going to hate it too. Not because it's like early '90s. Like it's not that time frame doesn't bug me so much as I think sometimes, older movies, that's not super old. I have a harder time with older movies, but sometimes people can go on to do different roles that like affect how I watch them if I have not seen the movie. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
And so I was worried about that. The other thing is, and this might shock the shit out of you guys and everybody else listening, I have actually never seen this fucking movie. This is the first time I've watched it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's exciting.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I actually asked Felicia, I messaged her, I'm like, have you guys seen this, right? Like, I just didn't know. And she assumed that you had, I think.
I was like, yeah, we've seen it.
I think if you had asked me before, I would have said, like, I think I've seen most of it. And that's true. Like, I've seen scenes is the thing. I had seen the scene with Buffalo Bill. Mm-hmm. I had seen the very end of it, so I knew how it ended. And then, like, I've seen, snippets of her conversation with Hannibal while he's in the different cells, I think. But I have never sat down and watched the entire movie from beginning to end. So again, this is going to make me sound like a fucking idiot. I had like no clue. I had no idea how Buffalo Bill tied in at all, what the moth had to do with anything, what the name had to do with anything, Silence of the Lambs. Like I was like, oh shit, it was a revelatory experience for me. I was like, okay, I see how all of this fits together now.
Okay, now I'm excited like to hear your take on it.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I'm jealous that you got to have that experience brand new.
As an adult, not as
experience.
12-year-old kid watching this.
As a traumatized kid, yeah.
It was really fucking good, which I know is like, duh. Most people seem to agree that this is an amazing movie. And so, duh. But it just, having watched it the first time, I was like, shit, this holds up. This is one of those like, classic. I mean, and I was worried that it wouldn't be. I thought I would find things cheesy and dumb, but no, I really fucking liked it.
Nice.
It's exciting. I'm excited.
Felicia, how'd you feel?
Yeah, so I saw this a long time ago and absolutely loved it. Like one of my favorite movies. And then for some reason, I was chatting with Seth about it. I don't know why. Because the reason I say I don't know why is I usually don't watch movies outside of the podcasts that are horror movies because we're eventually going to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I had watched it either last year or the year before. And I was like, oh my God, I'm bored. Like this is, oh my gosh, I was heartbroken because I remembered it being so good. And I'm like, am I having an experience, like a Pet Cemetery experience? Because I felt it was really slow. And then so coming to it, 2 years later and watching it, I fucking loved it. I had so much fun. Like just, I don't have even that many notes, just this one little page because I was just all absorbed in it. I walked away with all the cold chills, all the good feelings. I absolutely loved it, which made me question some movies that I rated low. And I feel like I should rewatch them or at least watch every movie twice.
Yeah.
Like watch it and then watch it before recording just in case I'm having an off night or if I'm tired or something.
I think it kind of like whatever your mindset is when you're watching it, sometimes you just might be like, ugh, I don't feel like watching this.
Yeah, maybe
right
I
now.
needed in that moment something real action packed. And it's not super action packed in the beginning, right? Because it's building so much of the story. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. The one thing I wish so bad is that there was more Buffalo Bill. Like, I think it would be really cool to have a movie about him. Like maybe Rob Zombie should do it, like he did with Michael Myers. More of that like background of him. The book has it.
Yeah.
And I have some notes on that for later, but I just really loved that character too.
Yeah, I know I was talking about
one.
Anthony Hopkins, but yeah, Buffalo Bill is also very good. Ted Levine is just awesome in that role.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Hopkins like steals the show. He's look.
Amazing.
Oh.
I have
this little
doll, my daughter's got me. Yeah. So that's how I felt. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Have you guys seen any of the other movies or the TV show?
I saw Hannibal.
I also saw Hannibal, but I don't think I saw anything beyond that.
Me neither.
Does it go Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and then Red Dragon? Is that
yes.
the
Yeah, I think
sequence
so.
of movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw Hannibal and I remember I liked it, but it was like not compared to the level I liked Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
And obviously not enough to make me want to watch Red Dragon.
Hannibal is the hog one, right? With the hogs and the guy. Okay.
And the brain.
Yes.
Do you remember the brain?
Ray, isn't that Ray Liotta who's in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I
Ray
did see
Liotta.
that one then.
I have not seen any of the other movies, but I did watch all of the Hannibal TV show, which I felt like gave me a really good basis for watching this movie because all of the characters are there. And so I understood the dynamics. I think if I had watched this without that background information, I would have been much more lost. And I was lost like in certain moments. This movie moves. I mean, the reveals to you, like they kept doing these reveals where it was like, I felt like I should feel like, oh shit. But I was like, what? What did I miss? Like I kept rewinding. Like,
yeah,
what?
It's
what
one
is,
you definitely have to
talking about?
you definitely have to pay attention. Yeah.
Did you have an oh shit moment though when you saw the dress? The sewing dress? Because I remember that specifically when I was a kid, when she opened it and her eyes, and then they showed the dress with the cutouts, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No, because I think I knew that he was, I don't know. That didn't shock me.
Okay.
I guess. But yeah.
I was more like, oh shit, that's how they make dresses. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, because he cuts it so in that pattern and anyway.
I guess I just knew that was what was happening because they showed.
She's a sewer.
Yeah, like they show. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't that.
Do you cut those patterns to make a dress? Did you do that?
I have never cut those exact type of patterns, but
okay.
I don't know.
I haven't either.
They showed it. They showed it earlier. You could see that he had like the little pattern and he was like sewing. And I know that the reveal is that they probably knew each other because she was, I don't know. It just didn't get me. But anyway. But Dr. Chilton, Jack Crawford, Hannibal, like they're all in the Hannibal show. The only person who isn't is Clarice. You know, like she's like replaced by a different character. I think his name is Will. And so I kind of knew that, you know, he toys a little bit with his clients. Like people come to his patients, like they come to him and he sort of toys with them in a way, like he gets to know them and sort of, I don't know, like manipulates them. So I think if I hadn't known that, I would have been a little, I don't know. It just helped me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I was just curious, you guys, if you had seen any other content or like read the books or anything.
Is the show worth watching? Like, is it good?
Oh yeah, I highly recommend it. It is very good. I think it loses itself in the third season because there were only 3 seasons made.
Oh.
But I think it's based on the book. So I think like the content started to get real wacky in the last season. Like it started to just go off the rails a little bit in terms of like, this is crazy. Now we have like this person who's like a sniper involved. I don't know. It just felt kind of video gamey, if that makes sense. Like it just kind of flies off and shit gets, you know, characters are way over the top now. I didn't like that part, but I highly recommend the first couple seasons. Very, very good. And the guy, Mads Mikkelsen, plays Hannibal, and I think he did an amazing, amazing job.
I have to check it out.
And it's like super horror, like gory, disgusting. Yeah, highly recommend.
I didn't get the feeling that the book was off the rails or video gamey. Researching the two, it seemed like they really stuck close to the book, but they obviously had to cut out a lot of stuff, like the whole background of Buffalo Bill and, his childhood and stuff like that is contained in the book. But
I think it might be Red Dragon, though. I think they might pull a lot from Red
that
Dragon
book
for the show part once they get into that. Because you're talking about hogs. I think I know what you're talking about because of the show. And there's like these characters that are involved that own that company that are like just way too over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Mm.
Anywho.
All right. So, Seth, this is the part where we literally talk about anything that we want in any order we want. Okay. So whatever comes to you, whatever you like, don't like, favorite scenes, whatever. And then we just go from there and we let it flow.
Well, we already kind of mentioned Mr. Hopkins. But I guess we could dive into that a little bit.
He's so good.
That first scene where she goes to visit him, and like the reveal's not really anything scary. It's just like you see him, and the camera is just in his face the whole time, and it's just the way he's just so like, if like stoic is the right word. It's just he's just so creepy.
Yes, I took a note actually, and I put this movie does an amazing job of lulling you into these like super intense conversations between them, mm-hmm. and the camera work and the editing is very good because I do feel like they're so close. Like the camera is so fucking close to his face specifically, like, mm-hmm. and it does a really good job of just making you feel like it's so fucking intense. And again, I was worried about this. I thought it might come off as like cheesy a little bit, but you're right. He's so unsettling because of the, just laid back might not be the right word, but calm, he is so stoic.
Yeah. Contained. He's calm and contained. Yeah.
And you can tell that Clarice is just like scared shitless, but she like is really trying to hold it together.
Yeah, she did that really well. Yeah. Anthony Hopkins, I guess in the book, he's actually behind bars. And then there's like this nylon netting after the bars inside of the book. But the director hated shooting him between the bars because he wanted to get that intensity. Yeah. And Anthony Hopkins, he went and met with convicted killers, researched them, went to prisons, just to get, to create this character. And he even so much, he was like, I felt like my character was almost reptilian-like. So, and reptiles, some things that make them creepy is they blink intentionally, not like a reptile, but just like this feeling of like being, I don't know, like a reptile, this creepiness of it. Mm-hmm. And so he literally, to his blinking, this is what I'm trying to get to, is that he even controlled his blinking throughout the scenes when he was talking to make them intentional, like a reptile would. Like he just balls to the wall. Jodie Foster didn't hang out with him like on set because she was scared of him. And,
I believe it.
He was dating Martha Stewart at the time.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's random.
He was dating. Well, I know. I saw that. I was like, what? What an interesting. But she left him because she couldn't disconnect him from his character after the movie.
Wow.
That is crazy. Now that you say that about the reptilian eye blinking, I feel like I can see it. Like when I think of the way that he was blinking, it was like intentional. It was not like regular blinking. It was like, weird.
To add to the eeriness of his whole demeanor.
Well, and they make everyone else in the cells like crazy acting. Like the dude what's his name, that flicks the semen, they're all but he's just like so composed and so, I don't know. That just added to it for me.
That's a good point. Yeah, because it does kind of give you this juxtaposition of they're like wild animals kind of, and he is like so.
Yeah, he's just standing there with his drawings. Like, yeah.
I have a question for you that I feel like is maybe related to this. I want to know, in your guys' opinion, what is with the hiss after he's talking about he ate somebody's liver with some fava beans. You know, it's like the
thing he does.
Yeah, one of the most iconic.
Yeah.
What is that about?
So he improv'd that. He actually just did it. And they liked it. The director, though, got sick of it, but he didn't say anything because it became so iconic.
Oh.
But he just like, I think he did it as a response of just like the story of eating it and like slurping it up, you know?
Okay.
And it was not like in the script.
That's kind of what I thought, maybe, because it is sort of like, yeah, you drool and then he's sucking it all back into his mouth.
Yeah, because it would have been weird if he just went.
Yeah.
Or if he, you know, so he's like did that weird, and it just came out that way, and they were like, okay.
But I guess it conveys.
When you say he got sick of it. Oh, sorry, Seth. Go ahead.
I guess it conveys to us, the audience, though, that he like genuinely enjoys eating these people.
And making people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I
like,
got out of it, that it was like, okay.
And he did that, and she was kind of like taken aback, just like he loved that with the senator. You know, he had to talk about her nursing the baby and all of that, and he just likes to push it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. But then when you mentioned the reptile thing, I thought maybe it could be mimicking the hiss of a reptile.
Well, maybe it could. I mean, they really just mentioned it being like impromptu, right? Mm-hmm. Unscripted. But maybe that if that's what it was in his mind, maybe that is what kind of made that type of reaction.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like this part is like a little weird. It's like a weird thing to do. I've never seen anybody else do it. Even if something sounds good, makes your mouth water, you know, like, so I don't know.
We could start a trend. Like we could just start doing it, you know.
Yeah, let's start doing it.
I'm hungry.
You're going to have to watch it. I'm hungry.
That looks good.
That looks good.
See how people react.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, are you having a seizure? Is there something wrong with you?
Call an ambulance.
Shit, I am legit gonna do this at dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, you
I
should.
just want to see what everybody does. I'm gonna do it.
You got to stay like real deadpan and just like not even like laugh.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, this looks good.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I can't
wait to hear about this.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Oh shit.
But yeah, he was so fucking good. He was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loved him.
Every scene he was in, you're just like tense. You're like, oh God, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna do?
We talked about this on a podcast, and I feel like I've said this twice. So I think it's been several podcasts in a row. But one of the scariest things to me are people. I mentioned it with a podcast on Elm Street, like Breaking Bad. If you guys has seen it, the one villain, Gus. What is so terrifying about him is he is so composed. You can't read him at all, and it is terrifying because you don't know what cards he's playing. You don't know. You know what I mean? Right. And so I feel like you don't know with Hannibal either, because you don't know if he really wants to help her. You don't know if he's just so, it's scary because you know he's always like 10 steps ahead of you. Because whatever he has it figured out in his head.
Yeah, because you're like, does he really care like about her life? You know, when they start that quid pro quo thing, like, does he really care? Or is he just trying to work it, you know, something for him? Yeah. It's like hard to tell.
But at the end, that was nice where I would be happy if I was in this situation. He said, I'm not coming after you because the world's more interesting with you in it. I'd be like, fuck, thank God.
But then again, that's also very unsettling too.
Yeah.
He could be lying also.
Yeah, but he was also like how he got really mad when that guy, you know, flung his cometer. So
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
And then she goes, and he was like, he was upset that she was disgraced. His guest, right? His guest was treated that way. So there's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like if he, in the end, like actually cares about her, or if he just respects her. I don't know. Like I can't tell which it is, or both. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because I felt like he was respecting her, and then she cheated him. But then, or like she lied to him, right?
Right.
But then even there, when she started opening up to him, I think he's smart enough to understand too that she really had no say in that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like she concocted that whole lie.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. I do think, and again, this is me, I'm kind of pulling from my experience watching the show. I did feel like he cared about her. Because like that's how it is kind of in the shows. He does seem to form attachments with people who he thinks are similar to him in some kind of way. And even though I don't think that she is in the way that it is in the show, it seemed like he liked her. And she also was like very authentic, you know. That's one of the things that I liked about her character, because I think it could have been easy to put somebody in that role who would have been lying or, you know, trying to make it to their advantage. But she goes in and she just is like, whatever. When he asks her questions, she just tells him. And I think he mentions, you're very frank, Clarice. I think it would be interesting to know your personal life or something. I don't remember exactly what he said. So I think he does both respect and like her.
There we go. We have an answer.
There we go. Thank you, Tawny.
Sold.
Take it.
Tawny. One thing I thought that this was interesting was, so Buffalo Bill. I loved him, like that actor and how well he did. I loved how he was saying it puts the lotion on its body.
Yeah.
And then when she was crying and how it was getting to him and he was like, no, and he would lose his temper. I just thought it was so fascinating. And one thing I did think of, which was a controversy around the movie, but I don't think at the time, but later in the future, was that he was, they were saying that he was a transvestite, but then they were saying he wasn't. And the LGBTQ community was worried that it was placing them in a negative light by having him be this killer. And but one thing, they mention it in the movie. They say he's not, he just thinks he is. In the book, I guess it builds that out more, where he hates himself. And so the complete metamorphosis that he could think of that's the polar opposite of himself is becoming a woman. So it's like this different reason he's doing it. And that's why he was denied for that surgery.
Right.
Because it, you know, that's not what the surgery is for. He was a tormented man who hated himself and wished he was a woman because it would have made him feel as far away from his body as he could possibly be.
Right. And I
So
like that you
that
can
was
like
fascinating.
see that in him in that scene with the lotion, which is just such a famous scene, but you can see that like there's a person in there. Like, yes, he's got issues, but like there's a person in there, and it just kind of makes you wonder, like, how does somebody get to that point, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the book has if anyone's curious, and I'll post the link in our Discord, there is a Wikipedia on Buffalo Bill. At first I got confused because I was reading, it's like at the age of 10, he had to go to an orphanage and And I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. Do all characters have this backstory like this? But then I realized, okay, it's from the book, that all the stuff, but it was really cool to read.
I'll have to check it out.
It's really like, and I have this here, and guys, just tell me to shut up but I'm going to start and then you can tell me to shut up if you want. But the serial killers that this character was created after, and you can see a little bit, is it okay if I go there real quick?
Yeah.
You could see a little bit of each of them in him. But one of them, Edward Gein, right, who he would take women's body parts and he would fashion lampshades and chairs, and he would wear them as well. And he was just depraved. So he would wear the women's body parts, but he's just depraved. Jerry Brudos, who was a strangler, he would dress up in their clothes and keep their shoes. Ed Gein, we just mentioned. Ted Bundy, because if you
I noticed that.
Yeah, he was the one that would always act injured, and people would help him, and that's how he would get them.
God,
Jerry Aim Heidnick.
Sorry,
I know.
That scene always drove me nuts.
Let's stop. Yeah, let's talk about that
why
scene.
Are you getting in the van?
The Ted Bundy scene. Yes.
Like, why are you getting in the van? Don't.
I know.
As soon as she gets, I know, but he's like, can't get it in it. You can see someone doing it, even though like you're like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop. It was very scary.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're done talking about that scene.
Yeah.
No, go.
No, that was it. I just like, it always drives me nuts. I'm like, well, at least make him get in the van.
Yeah, with his one good arm and pulling the thing and you push. Yeah.
I like how there's this moment of hesitation. She almost doesn't go help. And then she is such a good person that she decides, you know what, I'm going to help this guy. And I agree. It sucks watching as an audience member because she's totally fucked. But you're like, you could see somebody do that. And I actually had a note here because I think later she mentions to him, I'm a kind person or something like that. And it was like, of course he knows you're kind. That is how he got your ass.
Yeah.
Because you climbed into that fucking van.
And Ted Bundy got his victims that way. So lots of people do this.
Yeah.
Or they used to. Maybe not so much anymore.
They're still doing it.
Oh, I'm sure. But I think people are more aware.
Yeah. Back then,
I agree.
Yeah.
Back then, when all these serial killers, in the 70s, there was also that whole, I mean, I know people do this, but I don't think it's as prevalent, I guess, or accepted. Oh, let's hitchhike anywhere we want to go, hitching, hiking and going around, this free love, free spirit. Everything is great. No, there's bad people that really took advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
I only have a few more. Gary M. Heidnick, he did stuff to women, but the specific thing is he would keep them in a pit. Just like that. Edmund Kemper, who killed his grandparents, because this character did as well. Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, would dump the bodies in the river, and he would insert objects into their corpses. And Alfred Bali Trevino, he was a Mexican serial killer who murdered his boyfriend, decapitated him. So I think that's where the head idea came from.
Jesus Christ. I mean, we really shoved a lot of different serial killers into this one character.
Yeah, I never would have thought that that's how they came up with that. Wow.
I don't know. They did the same. I don't know if you have ever read or saw Dead Man Walking. It's a great movie, but that one character is actually multiple characters that Sister Helen Prejean had worked with. But they really jam packed a lot of killers into this guy.
Just like took one from here, one thing from here. Yeah.
We got to make it count.
Yeah. They did a good job. I'll say that.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel disparate. Like it feels like this is one serial killer with his own, MO. The only one that I picked up on was Bundy with the broken arm. Yeah. And, skin.
Gein.
Yeah. But it didn't feel like that when you were watching it. So it was good.
Mm-mm.
And I thought this is another part that I thought was going to be cheesy because the whole Buffalo Bill thing at this point has I feel like become a meme of itself almost, like people joke about it constantly with the lotion and, know, my coworker did a little funny photo shoot where he's holding, a little white fluffy dog. I feel like people joke about all of this so much that it's I was ready for it to be kind of funny to me, but it was not. It was very disturbing all the way through. Yeah. Which
I'm glad it wasn't
a good surprise. Sorry, Felicia.
I really wanted more of this character, like I mentioned earlier. And one thing about the dancing scene, which was just fucking great. They didn't have that in the script. And Levine said, it's Levine, I'm saying it correctly, yes? Just want to make
assume
sure.
so, yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Okay,
all I would
as
say.
long as you guys agree, that's what it is. Here
We
we go.
agree, yeah.
He insisted it be put in because it is in the book. He was like, this is crucial for the character's development. And I absolutely agree. Because if you think about it, if that was taken away, how much do we get of him?
Yeah,
Not
almost
much.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blows my mind that they would even want to take that out. But I'm glad he fought for it and he got it put in there.
And that shows you what he's trying to do, because he does, he tucks it in, and then, I mean, you kind of
shows
need
you
it.
this
It would
transformation.
Be weird. Yeah, it'd be weird if he didn't have it.
Yeah,
And
you would just,
I feel like it sort of almost humanized him to me as an audience member. Like that was, like you're saying, it's the most that you really get to see of him. Otherwise, it's like him not being his, like what he believes to be his true self, right? Like he's sort of putting on an act, or he is, or it's like extreme close up. Like you get that first extreme close up of him putting on the like lipstick.
Yeah.
But that you don't get to see him or get a feel for him as like a character really at all until that scene. And I did feel like, again, this is a human being who obviously feels bad about hurting this other person and has to like disassociate that they're even a human being to be able to do this to them. I don't know. It was good. I feel like it added a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
me too.
Would you fuck me?
I'd fuck me.
Yes.
That's so creepy.
It was so good. His voice too.
So low.
Oh my God.
I feel like I could not have seen this guy in anything else. Cause like he just didn't seem familiar to me at all, but
I just saw him recently. It hit me. Jurassic World.
He's in that?
Dominion. The last one where they are smuggling the dinos and they're selling them off at the high auction. I forget what it's called, but it's the Jurassic World. Yes, he is the head army guy that goes out to. Okay, so the volcano is exploding. And so all the dinos are going to die.
Is this a spoiler alert?
No, this isn't the beginning.
Okay.
This is the beginning, is the preface. So the team that went out there to save the dinos, and I won't say anything more about it, he is the commander in chief. And I kept looking at him like, God, he is so familiar. And then one of the 150,000 watches, because my daughter's obsessed with dinos, it hit me. I was like, oh, that's Buffalo Bill. Oh my God.
I can't even picture what he looks like now, because that was 30 years ago.
Oh, I have a question kind of related to him. But when she's in I'm jumping around a little bit, but when she's in the house and she's walking around, she comes across like a tub. What the fuck was in that tub? I rewound it like 3 times. I tried to see. I think it's like a body, but what the fuck? That seemed outside of any MO.
I assume it's the lady that lived in the house before, where he says, I bought it 2 years ago.
Yeah, his grandparents.
Yeah. Oh, is it his grandparents?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's his grandma, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely
I thought the same thing, Seth.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's who used to live in the house.
It made me nauseous. Like, I don't usually get affected by stuff in movies really at all. Like, it takes a lot, I think, for me. I don't know why this was so fucking gross to me, but I wanted to see what it was, so I kept rewinding to see, and it kept making me nauseous. I was like torturing myself. I want to know what it is, but I did not pick up on what it was.
It's real fast. Yeah, it's not like she doesn't really linger in there very long.
I can just imagine Tawny going like this. Rewind.
Yeah.
Rewind.
What was that? I still can't tell.
I love that. Okay, so since we're here, I loved that pitch black scene. I thought Jodie Foster did such a good job. And like I mentioned earlier, that terrified me. Like, I think that's like whenever anyone goes, would you rather be blind or deaf or this or that? Hands down, not here, because that scene of not being able to see and not being able to know that someone is like right there. Oh, that was horrible.
I wonder if they
it was really creepy.
Did they really film it in the dark? Do you know? I don't know if that was in any of the facts or anything. Because I mean, it just looks legit.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I'm going to check.
And his hand gets like so close to her, and you're like, oh, what's he going to go grab her? What's he going to do?
Yeah, I suppose you could. I don't know how you would. You probably could just shoot it through. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know at
Felicia's
the
gonna find
time
out.
like how they would have
I'll
done
find
it.
out. I'll find out.
Yeah. That is a really
It's
creepy
very scary.
scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could have easily just like hit her or so, but he didn't.
Yeah.
In the book, they do mention that in the book, he says something. I think after she shoots him or something about how does it feel to be so beautiful?
Oh.
And so I think that that's what they were depicting of him reaching out to her hair and stuff.
Okay.
Because that's what he says. That's what he says in the book.
And while we're in this scene, the Catherine lady in the well, like she was kind of cracking me up because like Starling was saying, "I'll be right back," and she's like, "Don't leave me down here, you fucking bitch!" And all this stuff.
Yes.
It was like kind of a little bit of a comic relief, not really, but kind of. Like it was just funny.
No, I thought it was funny too because it was
Yeah.
so like that's exactly what somebody would say in the
Oh,
situation.
yeah.
Like it kind of broke the
Yeah.
thing. You were like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's how I would react too."
Right. It's just kind of funny.
Don't believe me.
Yeah, this basement was just, it was huge. Like how many rooms
I
did
mean,
she
I was
go
having a-
through? Yeah.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, we got the moth room. We got the like sewing room. We have the well room.
The
There's
bathtub
this
room.
bathtub room. Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck?" There's a lot happening down here,
All I kept thinking is like, how bad does it have to smell down here? Like,
dude. So bad.
ugh.
That bathtub alone. I was. Ugh.
Yeah, just, and all the skin everywhere, and God.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'll have to look. I'll have to look it up. Nothing popped up right away, but I'm curious about that. When she started to go down there, I immediately wrote in my notes, I think this is a situation that calls for backup.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this was so precarious. Any moment he could have so easily killed her. There's multiple doors.
Mhm.
It's dark. There's nooks. There's crannies. Like she is going around down there. And I was like, he ran down there. At least you know he's in the house. So like, you know, you can, I don't know, but I
Yeah.
feel like there should be some backup.
Plus,
No,
it's
don't
like,
go down there
it's
by
his
yourself.
territory, so he's gonna know where to hide, and you know, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And just like you guys are saying, this is insane how gigantic this
Mhm.
basement area is. It is insane. I would love, if that was a real place, I'd love to go tour it.
And it was just such a tense scene because it was like, oh God, now another room and another room.
Yeah.
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 I like how she like shut the door behind her. Like I got, so he can't come through this door and we can't, but still,
Yeah.
like when she was going around and then was in the dark room, I was like, oh my God, if he wanted to kill you, you were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would have
totally
been
dead.
too
It was
if he really
amazing.
wanted to. Yeah.
Yep.
I do want to say on the note of Catherine, right? That's her name in
Yeah.
the well. She was an amazing survivor. I was fucking here for her. I can't believe that was a great plan with the dog.
Mhm.
Get
Yeah.
the dog down here, hold it hostage so that you know I can work this some kind of leverage for me. I was like, this is a smart fucking lady. She has like the smallest role of all
Yeah.
the roles, the major roles, but I was like, this is good. I
And
like
I'm
it.
glad they didn't make her helpless. Like that, she just, you know,
Yeah.
she had a plan. Like she actually was trying to figure out a way to get out of the situation.
Yeah. I also liked when she was screaming at her, don't you leave, you fucking bitch. Because you would feel that way because you're in the hole. And now this chick is going to walk around the house. And if he kills her, I'm still in the hole. But at least if you get me out, then I could try to escape and you could do whatever you want. Like you could go around
Yeah,
the
or we
rooms
could
if
work
you want.
together.
But
Yeah.
I'm getting out of there. I'll pretend to work with you until I see a way out. And then I'm
Yeah.
out.
Or
she's
I'd
just
be
she's
like,
gonna
let's get
bolt for the
fuck
stairs.
outta here.
Yeah.
I would, not.
You found
Yeah, I
me.
would
Let's go.
get out of there. 100%.
And like speaking,
It's her job.
right.
Around. Sorry, go
And
ahead.
like speaking of Catherine, just while we're talking about her not being helpless, I do feel like this movie kind of has some like women empowerment type stuff in it. I don't know if it's because of the era it
Mhm.
was in, but all the stuff with like Starling and like they'd leave her out of the conversation, and like her and Crawford in the car where she's like, you know, you need to set an example. You know, they look up to
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Like I thought that was kind of cool that they had that in there. Now, I don't know if that's just the era it was filmed in. I'm sure that's how it was.
I liked
No,
it too.
I liked it too because they could have easily just, they didn't need to highlight that in the movie.
But it made
Right?
it
They could have.
realistic, because I'm sure in
Yeah.
1991, that's exactly how it probably was for a female FBI agent,
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
like how she was honest. I loved that when she said that to him. Like,
Yeah.
they're looking up to you to see how you should treat others and how you treat me. I do have something here. It says, when characters are talking to Starling, they often talk directly to the camera. When she is talking to them, she is always looking slightly off camera. Director Jonathan Demme has explained that this was done so as the audience would directly experience her point of view, but not theirs, hence encouraging the audience to more readily identify with her.
Oh, that's cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There was even some POV stuff. There was like a few shots that were like her point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked how they slipped, different scenes where she was walking through the FBI place, the different trainings going on in the background. It was just kind of cool to see. Like they're walking, on this path and there's just like cars chasing this other car in the background and it was a training exercise.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that I kind of want to go just for like a couple days and
Oh God, I
do that robbery scene. I don't want people making me run like she was
no.
running or any of that.
In the beginning, I would
My
have been
daughter-
like stuck on that net thing halfway up. I would have been like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Get me back down.
I started it and TT was in the room and she was packing up to go into a different room. But it was, Starling going through that thing and TT goes, why the heck is she climbing over that thing? Why doesn't she just go around it? I'm like, because she can't, baby. She can't. It's training.
Yeah.
Literally, my first note is that flip move with the ropes definitely would hurt myself. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job portraying, she was tough and smart, but she was also infected by the time. So it wasn't like she was just busting in there like Wonder Woman, like, fuck you, right? It was because it felt so real, like real of the time, where how all of those guys looming over her when she was at the funeral parlor and how uncomfortable. And then how, but then when she went in there and cleared the room out.
That was awesome.
She's like, hey, everyone leave. That was so great. And the guy, her leader,
Crawford,
Crawford looked at her and smiled like, she was really stepping into her own, I thought.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember. Like, I'm like, is he going to be a dick? I can't remember. And he wasn't. And I was like, okay, good. But that Chilton guy is such a prick. Like, God.
Oh, the worst.
Like, I had a note about that. Like, I'm actually rooting for Lecter in this and not Chilton. Like, I don't like him. Like, I know Hannibal's killed all these people, but Chilton's just a prick. And I don't like him.
So what's another one? What's another?
Yeah.
Just add it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be in jail any longer because of it, so might as well.
Oh, yeah. At the end, I literally went, yes, when he got off the plane.
Like, good asshole.
Because he's just a douche. What a creep.
Then when he starts taking credit for everything, it was like, oh, God.
Yeah. He's just yuck.
He wasn't a doctor. Like, he wasn't going to help anybody in that prison. He didn't care. I mean,
No.
No, he didn't care.
He just liked to punish people and have what's it called, like, prestige, like that was all he was trying to do. And he liked toying with them in there, not treating them like human beings. I hated him. He was awful.
Yeah, did not like him.
I have like this little note about Lecter that I wrote that I thought was an interesting little fact. When Sir Anthony Hopkins found out that he was cast as Dr. Hannibal Lecter based on his performance in my favorite movie of all time, The Elephant Man, he was Dr. Frederick Treves in that movie. He questioned the director, but Dr. Treves was a good man. And the director said, so is Lecter. He is a good man too, just trapped in an insane mind. So that might answer our questions on if he really liked, Jodie Foster or Clarice and, kind of built that relationship with her. Maybe he did.
I mean, he's very smart. He's very polite. He's not like what you would imagine a serial killer to be, I guess.
He just doesn't crave McDonald's.
Just, Big Mac just doesn't do it for him, I guess.
It just doesn't do it for him.
It doesn't give him that feeling.
No.
Don't forget to do that tomorrow night at dinner.
I won't. I'm going to do it. I literally can't wait. And come on, guys, let's get to dinner. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I mean, we're having steak tonight. We're having dinner. Could do it tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why wait?
Well, why wait? Why not just okay? I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do it tonight while we're eating dinner. Steve, my husband, loves this movie, and so he actually watched it with me because he's not a horror fan. He loves this movie, so he'll know what I'm doing. Everyone else will think I'm crazy.
Just like start doing it all the time. Do it at work.
Yeah. Oh God.
In one of your trainings. Like, oh, it's time for lunch.
Oh, what am I saying? Oh, what did you? I'll be like, what did you guys have for lunch? And they'll be like, oh, I had this. Oh my God. Oh God, just picturing it.
Oh my God.
These poor people that barely know me are gonna be like, oh shit.
What's wrong with this lady? Oh my God.
I have another question for you guys.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I wrote down was in a later conversation with Clarice and Hannibal, he is looking away from her when he asks her questions. Do you guys remember this?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
Why? Why do you think that is?
Is this when they're in the courthouse part?
I think it's when he's in his cell. And she brought the deal where he can have the view and all of that. And so she's asking about Buffalo Bill and he goes like, you first, that whole quid pro quo conversation.
Oh, that scene.
So when he
Okay.
would look away and go, tell me about it, Clarice. And yeah.
I don't know if that was just a director choice or if it really meant anything. I'm not sure. Huh. I guess I
It
didn't
felt
really know
like
this. Yeah.
it helped him concentrate more. It was almost like he wasn't looking at her face or her emotions. He was just listening to what she was saying.
Mm.
But then they did highlight a point where he knew she was looking down at her shoes when he wasn't looking at her. Remember, you're not going to find the answers in those shoes, whatever the shoes were. That's the feeling I got. Like he was
That makes sense.
just focused on what she was saying.
Like he's so tuned in that he doesn't even need to look at her, or he has other senses that pick up on stuff, basically.
Yeah. Like he's maybe he didn't want to intimidate her. He didn't want her to stop. Like if he was staring at her.
Okay.
And it is kind of like unsettling.
It just was an interesting choice.
It was.
Yeah, like how in tune he is. He's almost like a profiler, kind of. Like just how he was able to read her right away, you know. It's just like I wonder if people can really do that. Like it was unsettling, kind of.
Yeah. They had this The Silence of the Lambs was inspired by the real life relationship between University of Washington criminology professor and profiler Bob Keppel and serial killer Ted Bundy.
Oh.
Bundy often helped Keppel investigate the Green River serial killer killings in Washington.
Oh, interesting. It's an interesting relationship.
Yeah. Another little tidbit I thought was interesting was Jack Crawford's based on real life FBI Special Agent John Douglas. And he was an early member of the FBI's behavioral science unit. So if anybody has seen the newish, I mean, it was a couple years ago, Manhunter on Netflix is about the same thing, about the same person, when they created this new unit to interview serial killers. And while the movie, all the people in the movie creating the movie worked very closely with actual FBI in this special unit to create this. The benefit on the FBI's side is they thought that it might recruit more female agents.
Oh.
This movie would be a good recruiting tool for them. But while they were helping him, he was actually hunting down the Green River Killer. So the Green River Killer was a case that this particular FBI agent was working on while they were helping the filmmakers with this movie.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like that tidbit.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the scene where he escapes and he sets that whole thing up where he ends up in the ambulance?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
that.
I kind of forgot about that, and I was like, oh, that's right. It's not going to be him in the elevator.
I thought
Yeah.
they did that really well.
Yeah.
I loved like his face, and his friend was like, you look fine.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you look
He's like,
fine.
what do I say to
I
him?
thought
Oh, you look fine. You're doing good.
I thought
Yeah.
it was great because they think, oh yeah, look, we have these two guys. They're like, oh yeah, I guess he's real scary. We're going to handcuff him here. It just seems so mundane. Handcuffs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's Hannibal
Yeah.
Lecter, for Christ's
That's
sake.
going to do anything.
Yeah, I thought they set that up real well and executed that like really well. How the pieces, how the elevator went to the top and down, and just how he created all that confusion and got out in the ambulance. That was great.
Well, the fact that he was like wearing the dude's face in the ambulance.
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
oh God.
I love that scene about where they're like, oh, he's still alive. Like, that guy was not doing a great job of comforting him, maybe.
No.
You look okay. It's fine. You're going to be okay.
He's like, what do I say to him?
He's like, listen, I don't want to make any promises, but you might live through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But the part right before that where the other guy is like, he says, grab a hold of him where you can, or what is he? I wrote it down. Get a hold of him where you can feel his hand, son. Talk to him. I thought this was a really fucking great line, delivered really great. And again, it was this like human element of like, talk him through it. See if you, I don't know. There was just a couple moments in this movie that I felt like you don't normally see. And I think this is one of them where I was like, damn, that was cool.
Yeah, I love that.
God, you just think Clarice like after. Oh, sorry.
No, you please, Seth. You
just
go.
like,
You're a distinguished guest.
But being like an FBI agent like this, like after going through this, like I don't know how you would like want to do this again. I don't know. Like I feel like it'd be so traumatizing to be like, well, I'll just go back to work on Monday and we'll do this again. I don't know. It's just crazy to me that people do this.
Yeah. And like, you know what? There was this little bit of trivia I had that I wasn't sure if I was going to share it or not, but you just mentioned it. So now I'm going to. Just how grateful we should be that people do this work.
I know.
Because after working with former FBI agent John Douglas for some time, Scott Glenn thanked him and said how fascinating it was to have been allowed into his world. Douglas laughed and told Glenn that if he really wanted to get into his world, he should listen to the audio tape of serial killers Lawrence Bittaker and Ray Norris torturing and murdering two teenage girls. Glenn did listen to it. He could only listen to 1 minute of the tape and has since said that he feels he has lost a sense of innocence in doing so and that he has never been able to forget what he heard. This tape is actually very, very famous. Everybody in the courtroom that had to listen to this tape had been like forever changed by it. But I just thought that was really well said because we're like, oh, we get a glimpse. Oh, because of these movies we watch and stuff. You have no fucking idea. Like,
and it's not like they just see one case. They see like hundreds of these, you know?
Yeah. Hundreds and horrible things. We were talking about real elements, Tawny. I liked also it was a small thing, but when they were going to check out the first victim and they put the smell stuff and it was her like almost like her first experience with that and how she was trying to muscle through it and be professional.
Yeah. She was trying to get up the courage, you could tell. You know, there's this moment of she's trying to pump herself up a little bit to turn around and he says her name or something. So she has to get in the game. You know, I liked that too. That was really good.
Yeah, that was a tough scene. Like, I can't believe they showed that much of the body, especially when they flipped her over.
Oh man, I felt like this was artfully done. I mean, I really liked how the amount that they showed actually, because it didn't feel over the top to me. It didn't feel what's the word? When it's like you're just doing too much for.
Yeah. Oh, we use this word a lot, and now we're forgetting it.
I don't know, but I'm trying to think of it. It wasn't like that, whatever that word is. It wasn't over the top, but I like how they kind of gave you extreme close-ups for a little bit. Like, you know, you'd get a glimpse, like the tiny bit of her teeth when they were trying to take the pictures and her fingernails. And then when they flipped her over, now you get a view of the whole body. They might have done a shot before that actually, but I don't remember exactly. But I just kept thinking they're going to show us all of it and it's going to be too much. And you're right, Felicia, they never do this in shows. I've never seen anybody else put anything under their nose so that it doesn't smell bad. And they they clear the room out and they make sure they all do this before they open up the bag. I really liked this scene a lot. It was maybe one of my favorites.
Yeah, because usually when they do that in movies, everyone goes like this, ooh, for a moment, and then they get into it, right? Go ahead,
you
Seth.
do not get used to that smell, I'm sure.
I can't imagine.
I mean, imagine looking at
seconds.
this body that's been in the river for who knows how long. I mean, it's got to smell and just be gross.
Yeah.
And then the camera noise gave me anxiety through the whole scene. That when it was charging every time they were taking a picture. I was this is stressful. Yes. And then they pull the moth out and you're like, oh.
So I have to, because Seth, you've seen it, but maybe you remember back to the first time. And I'm curious with Tawny, the scene, this rings. I love this. When the cop SWAT team is coming in on the house, coming in, ding dong. He opens the door and it's Clarice. Did you have a cool fucking surge moment there? Because I did. I love that fucking part.
That is a great
where
part.
You're like, they're getting into the house and then ding dong and he opens the door, it's Clarice. You're like, oh shit, they're not at the right house.
Oh, they're in Chicago somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that was more my reaction. I think I was like, oh no. Oh good, she found him. Oh fucking no, she's alone.
Yeah. Yes.
But
did it surprise you when they were walking up and they rang the doorbell and when he opened the door it was Clarice?
I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. And so yes, it did get my ass. And I thought they did a really amazing job of cutting. They just made it seem, I don't know what they did, but there was some fucking trickery happening. Movie magic where I felt like it was the same fucking house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's down there with her. And as soon as the cops ring the doorbell, that thing rings in his, dark basement. And so it's all just right together. I love that part.
Hey, what the hell kind of doorbell was that in the basement? That thing was scary.
I know.
It's lit up green. I was like, what is this thing?
Maybe I could just see a whole movie on him setting up that basement. I just a whole movie on his beginning. Hey, I'm going to start killing people and stuff. So let's set this house up.
Yeah, because they had to get supplies and stuff to get it ready. And how did he know what he needed?
Creepy and
Felicia's taking notes.
No, I'm not taking notes. I love humans. I would not ever kill humans.
Yes.
But that'd be interesting from his perspective. How did he figure out how to do all this? You don't know how to just de-skin somebody and how would you even know what to do? I don't know.
Yeah, and just that house, was it always just dug out like that, or did he have to dig it out and create it? There's questions I think that non-killer people would want to know.
Sure,
Tawny?
Felicia.
Do you hire a contractor to do this?
How much does it cost? Roughly. I'm asking. I'm curious.
Did not look like a contractor did it, but
no.
Yeah, did he get friends? Other people know? I'm not taking notes.
How did you make sure nobody heard somebody screaming in your basement? Those are the questions that Felicia wants answered.
Come on.
How do you take the bodies in with nobody knowing,
Oh, no. You're a brat.
Does your new house have a basement, Felicia?
Tawny doesn't usually tease me, so I like it. I think, Seth, you're bringing it out in her, and I like this dynamic of you teasing me, guys. It does not have a basement. We don't have basements in Arizona. That's why I need to know. How do you dig
right? It just so happens. Basements are common out here, so.
Yeah.
I will say, my parents' house, their basement is kind of like that. It has a bunch of doors, and it's big. And there is it's called a cistern, which what they used to collect water back in the day. And it looks like a big well like that. There is one with a manhole cover, and it's a brick. You could be down in there like that.
Oh, you're serious? In your parents' house?
Yeah. Those are common back here.
Oh.
In old houses, not new ones, but yeah. So it makes sense that would be there like that.
Oh yeah, wasn't there another movie? Was this The Orphanage where the kids down like in this basement area there was a well? Remember that?
I don't remember if there was a well, but yeah, there was sort
That
of
whole
this basement room.
Now that we're talking about
well,
basements.
yeah. Did you have something more about basements?
No, I think I'm done with the basement conversation.
Okay.
They had some other people, you know, that they were having for the role. I just found this interesting. Michelle Pfeiffer is who they wanted over Jodie Foster. She said she was too nervous about the subject matter, but then I read other things that said she wanted $2 million for the role. And they said no. Meg Ryan and Laura Dern. So those were the people for that. This one for Lecter kind of made me giggle, but they wanted Sean Connery.
No.
I just feel like I can't get that. And Anthony Hopkins, actually, when he got the script, it was called Silence of the Lambs. He asked if it was a children's story.
It does kind of sound like that.
It does.
Yeah.
And then 10 pages into reading it, he said, "This is the best part I've ever read. I would like this role." Other people who read for the role: Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, Derek Jacobi, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Forrest Whitaker. I really think Anthony Hopkins is the number one best person
I can't
out
see
of all
anybody
those
else.
peeps.
Yeah.
I just have one last thing, just because we're talking about it, about Anthony Hopkins. He actually took this movie as a last-ditch effort for his career, to break out in Hollywood. He'd acted in a bunch of movies, but none of them were A-list status. And so he wasn't gaining the prestige that he was hoping from his screen career. So he said if the film hadn't garnered the career boost he was asking, he was going to quit acting in Hollywood and focus all his efforts on British stage.
Oh,
Wow.
shit. Well, there you go.
We would have missed out on a lot of great stuff from him.
Because I don't think I know any movies of him before this one, at least not that I can think of. I mean, I know like Jodie Foster did some stuff before this, but that awful Accused
Michelle
movie is
Pfeiffer
what I
too.
can think of. Ugh. That's a hard movie to watch. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
Accused, I have.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
that's a tough one. Yeah, and then the ending is just great with
Yeah.
him saying the world is more interesting with you in it.
And then following, I also love the end shot where the credits are rolling and it's still him just following him in the, you know what I mean? It doesn't go black.
Yeah, it's just
shows
them
him.
for
showing
a
the
fucking
town.
long time.
Yeah.
The whole, I think it's the whole credits that it
Yeah.
runs over it. Yeah. It did make me, I liked that touch because it did make me feel like, oh, we're just getting a part of the story, you know? Because again, I think before I had watched this movie, I didn't understand. And when I went to watch Hannibal the show, I didn't even know that there were movie sequels made of Silence of the Lambs. So I thought Silence of the Lambs was like the last. I thought it was like the final. And I thought Hannibal was like a prequel. And I think it might be. I don't know exactly like where that lines up in the book timeline or whatever. But you get the sense from that last shot, this is a snippet of the story and it's going to continue.
Because I thought there was a movie
exactly
before this one, but I thought I read that somewhere.
There was an alternate ending to this, a darker ending. I have here that Ted Talley originally wrote a decidedly darker ending that would see Lecter call Clarice from a fancy office while cutting up an orange. After hanging up the call, the camera shot would have widened to reveal Lecter had captured Dr. Chilton, the man overseeing his stay at the Baltimore State Hospital. And then the movie ended with Lecter rising slowly, approaching Chilton and saying, "Shall we begin?" Talley, who is the writer, had a change of heart, though, telling Deadline, "I was a little miffed. I thought I'd been so clever to work out that ending, but I thought about it and said, what if Clifton fled the country instead of hiding out at his house?" And then they went that route. I think he would have gotten the same vibe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's going to eat him.
Oh, yeah.
He's so smart. He's going to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But looking at this, I guess there's a movie called Manhunter from 1986. I guess that's part of this series. I've never heard of that.
Oh,
Me
I've
either.
never heard of that either.
Because I was looking at the order you should watch them in. It's Hannibal Rising, Manhunter, Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Clarice, 2021. I haven't heard of that either. Hannibal,
Oh, shit,
and
me
then
neither.
Hannibal the TV series is at the end.
That's the
Oh,
order?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the order it says you should watch them in.
God, I would love. Oh, so I almost called you honey.
Ooh,
Tawny. I don't know what.
I like where this is going.
Maybe there is some alcohol in those little coolers or adaptogens or something. So the TV series, was that when he was younger and he was a practicing psychiatrist? Do we see that Lecter?
He is a practicing psychiatrist in the show,
Okay.
but I think based on what you just said, Seth, it's actually later. It's like,
Yeah, it has it at the end of the list.
I don't know.
After
Interesting.
Hannibal is where
But-
it has it.
I think he might escape, go somewhere else, and then keep practicing. But I don't know. How can you still be named Hannibal Lecter
Right.
and not be caught by the same fucking
Right.
group of people in the FBI? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but in this list, Silence of the Lambs is right in the middle. But yeah, how would they not know? I'm just
Yeah,
another
I'm
Hannibal.
Dr. Lecter. No, just a different Dr. Lecter. I look
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
I go by Hanny. Yeah.
Is
now-
there anything you guys didn't like about this? Oh, sorry, Seth. What were we going to say?
No, I was just going to say I do want to watch the series now that Tony's talked about it because it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm disappointed it doesn't end very great, but I'm excited to watch it.
But
Yeah.
anything I didn't like, I didn't like the Chilton guy, which I already said. Like as far as characters, I can't think of anything about the movie I didn't like specifically though.
Yeah, but Chilton, he played being such a shitbag so well.
Oh yeah, I hated him.
That's intentional. You're supposed to dislike him.
Mhm.
I think the only
Yeah.
thing I don't like is just that, and I mentioned this earlier, kind of they really like skip over things. It's really fast. And again, only because I've watched the show do I know that there is this backstory and background that I could fully appreciate the dynamics and stuff. Like him mentioning right away that he can smell her perfume. I don't think I would have just been like, what? Oh, well, because it like kind of doesn't get brought up again. I feel like maybe once later, way later. But I know from watching the show that he has an insane like sense of smell. And I guess you get that from that tiny moment, but you don't know if he's like right. You know, just watching the movie, it's not reinforced. But like in the show, they really hit that home that he can smell. His sense of smell is insanely good. He can smell stuff from super far away and sense like, I don't know, crazy like changes with people. It's really crazy. And then the dynamic between Chilton and Hannibal is a lot more fleshed out in the show. So I just kind of wish that there were these things that they didn't just skip over. They explained a little bit more. That's the only thing I feel like I didn't like.
I guess they're trying to
Or like
cram
the
a lot
anagrams.
in 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And they did a good job.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
No, I think I was just saying like the anagram part like felt really fast. Like why anagram? I don't know. That isn't in the show at all. I guess
Bugging with
it's
people.
supposed to be that he's, really super intelligent. But it's things like that I, it's like, let's explain that. I don't know.
Yeah. I liked it how he was messing with people constantly, Yeah, I don't think there's anything I didn't particularly like about the movie. I wish there was a little more Buffalo Bill, but
Yeah.
it didn't take away from my experience.
But like speaking of him messing with people, it just made me think like I like that he was actually trying to, at least I felt this way, that he was trying to teach Clarice like kind of how to do her job, sort of. Like he could have just given her the answer, but he like kind of like made her find it herself.
Yeah, he's like helping her.
Yeah, like he knew, but he like was, trying to teach her like how to find it. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a really good point because, I could just tell you. But now how about when I'm gone and you need to figure out the next one?
Right.
It totally helped her develop her skills, real world.
That's why I kind of think that he did
That's a
care
really good
about
point.
her to some extent. Like in what capacity, I don't know, but whether it was like a mentor or if it was anything more
Yeah.
than that, I'm not sure. But
Maybe that respect for her, like
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier.
yeah,
Anything else about this movie you guys want to share?
I don't know. I think
That's all I
covered.
have.
Yeah, I covered all my notes. I think, unless we like really got nitpicky into stuff, but
This movie, I can definitely say, does have a nostalgia for me.
Yeah, me too.
I remember so much of it, and so that will affect my score.
Good to know ahead of time.
All right. Well,
Let's do
this
it.
was an awesome conversation. What we're going to do now is we're going to rate it. We rate it out of 5. So let's start with our distinguished guest,
Distinguished.
Seth.
Nothing distinguished about me.
You are great. Seth, what would you rate this movie?
So I went back and forth on this, but I actually am going to give it a 5. I think the movie is so well
Wonderful.
done. Like the acting is just amazing to me, especially Anthony Hopkins, like we've talked about 50 times in this. His performance just chills me to the bone. It's so creepy. And Jodie Foster, of course, I love. I think she does a good job of playing a young FBI agent who's seeing some pretty awful stuff, I think, for the first time in her career. And then the overall way the movie was shot, the soundtrack, the feel of it.
Yeah, she's still in school.
Yeah, like I think she did a good job of portraying like, oh shit, this is what I'm getting into, but like the feel of the movie, it was just gray and kind of spooky all the time. It felt kind of raw, kind of realistic. And I just like how it also showcased some, society issues of the time, the struggle of women and these kind of power roles and things like that. And it really holds up to today, I feel like. It didn't feel dated to me.
Not even a little bit, dude. It really held up. There was nothing that I felt, oh, this looks or feels old.
No. Other than the clothes a little bit, but like, yeah, it really held up well.
Awesome.
Excellent. Wonderful. All right. Tawny.
I think I'm going to give this a 4.
It's good from Tawny.
It's
Is
good.
it?
4 I love. Like 4 is the I love category. 5 is I fucking love. And I think the only reason why I don't want to give it higher than that is just because I think for me personally, like I'm not going to choose to rewatch this. It's just like, it's really great. I liked it a lot. For me personally, it's not like up my alley. Does that make sense? Like I'd never be like, let me just pop on Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, we'll have movies that we
like,
that we think are really good, but wouldn't just put on just to watch. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't have the nostalgic, factor for me. So yeah, that's where I land.
Nice. That's a great score. It's a great score.
Yeah.
That's a Tawny score that she would recommend other people to watch it.
Good to know.
I
If
gave
it's below that, she'd be like, you could watch it if you want.
You've got nothing better to do.
Pop it on.
I gave like The Orphanage, The Dark and the Wicked, Little Evil, Krampus, like all of the Green Room, all of those are 4s for me.
Oh, she loves those movies. Yeah.
Misery.
That's a great score.
Yeah.
Cool.
Misery. All right. That's Misery is one that I need to rewatch. Yeah. My score right up here at the top of my page is a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
I also loved this movie, the nostalgia factor as well. Anybody who's heard the show, we cut it out, but we like think and contemplate and go back and forth. And we didn't want to do that with you. So I really tried to work it out.
Yeah, I tried to do it ahead of time.
Definitely going to,
yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to I was going to do above a 4.5. And so I was just trying to figure it out. And I'm like, you know what, it's that grabbing of the heart that we talked about in our past episode, Tawny, that I don't know if I cut it out or not, but it just grabbed my heart, grabbed all of me, loved the characters. 5 out of 5.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a 4.7 average. It's real high, real good.
Dang. It might be on our list at the end of the year. We have a lot of movies to go, but I'm just saying.
It's only January. But now the
I'm a
bar
big
is
dreamer,
set.
you know.
The bar's been set. So.
Yes. Now the bar's been set. We started off real high, 4.9s for Caveat and Martyrs. We scored high too, and this one. So
I
thank you,
haven't
Seth,
seen
for
those,
bringing
but
it
after
to
listening
us.
to your Martyrs episode, I'm like, I don't know, is this gonna be too gross for me? I'm not sure.
It's extreme.
Because even Mark
Very
was like, it's
fucking
really
gross.
hard to watch, but I'm like, God damn. I might give it a try.
Oh yeah, because you don't like that genre. So
yeah.
or it's not your favorite.
Right.
Wow. Seth, thank you for blessing us on our birthday weekend with your presence.
Yes.
It was wonderful having you.
Oh, it was wonderful to be
do you
here.
want to You're good.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed your experience as well. Do you want to plug where people can find you?
Yeah, so we're the Horror Movie Crew podcast, so you can find us on all the major streaming platforms. We also are on Patreon for exclusive content, so check us out there too.
Definitely. Oh, and check out the video, me and Tawny wearing the merch.
We're repping.
I got some great merch. We're repping.
Yep.
Love it.
All right. So next week we are watching something. Did we decide which one?
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
Okay. So I'm going to let Tawny tell you which one, but we are going to tell you Seth actually inspired and kicked off the whole theme for the month, which we will be doing 1990s horror movies.
Psychological horror
Sorry.
movies.
It was actually real deep. Sorry. 1990s psychological horror. That's what we're doing.
I'm excited about that.
So, the first movie, what are we watching?
The first one, and I've been waiting for my chance to watch and talk about this movie. My pick is up first, and we're going to watch Cube.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's like low budget, super low budget. It's like not as well known, I feel like. It's kind of an underrepresented movie. Like people don't talk about it as much as other movies, but it showed up on the list of 1990s psychological horror. So I am taking this chance and my opportunity. We're going to watch The Cube. I think it's just Cube.
Cube. I'm writing it down. I'm going to check it out.
I'm excited for mine. I don't know if we should tell everybody or make them wait until we post all our episodes. And then I've been wanting to do this one for a long time too. And then we're actually going to have audience pick.
Yes, we're going to do a new system. So actually I think we're going to call it the Patreon pick. Patron pick. Haven't decided. And so anybody on Instagram, we're going to do a post, I think, where people can comment and you can throw in your suggestions for which ones. And then we're going to take those suggestions. We might slim it down depending on how many submissions we get. And then we're going to put that up for a vote for our Patreon members. So our Patreon members will pick. And then that's going to be what we watch probably for the last episode.
Yep. So we're very excited about that. Yes, please. All right. So you can find us at twochicksandahorrorflick.com. That will link you to anywhere, all of our social, all of our Discords, all of our everything. You can also go to Instagram at twochicksandahorrorflick. That will link you everywhere as well. Those are our two hubs. And we would love for you to join our Discord server. We love talking with you. We will be as active as you want us to be in there, and we were very excited. So there is a link in our Instagram bio and on our website. So go ahead and pop in there. All the links that we mentioned during episodes, we put them inside of the Discord. So if you want to check that out. Tawny, what else?
If you want to support the show, you can go to our Patreon or give us a rating and review on whatever pod catcher you're listening to us on. And that's it. So we hope you guys have such a good night. Thank you again, Seth, for being here.
Yeah, and happy birthday.
Thank you. It's my golden birthday, actually. I don't know if you guys knew that. I didn't know what that was, but
what is that?
It's because it's on the 31st and I'm turning 31.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know either.
So I will never have a golden birthday again.
Yeah.
I should have celebrated it when it happened. Damn it.
Yeah, I would have been 17, so...
Yeah. That was a really long time ago.
That was a really long time ago.
No, I didn't mean it was a really long time. Oh,
yeah,
I shouldn't have said it that way.
But it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago.
Oh, God.
Anyway, you guys have such a good night. No nightmares.